Alright, so here we are with my first video on my 97 to 02 Dodge truck channel. It's clearly the best looking truck ever made. I mean, take a look. But I think my family is Dodge truck people too from that area, because I am now fixing up a truck that's gonna look just like this red one in the picture. And later on I'll show you what my mom owns. So I did a front brake job on my 4x4, and the first thing I ran into I didn't have was a T45 Torx bit. These are required to take off the caliper pins, and I bought the one that's in the link below because I have a 3/8 inch drive socket wrench, so I just bought a 3/8 inch Torx bit. It worked like a charm. T45 is the only size you need. I was replacing the pads and hardware on the front. The important thing is that I used some fairly heavy-duty ceramic pads. These are the ones I like for the 4x4. One tip is to always install the new clips and grease where the pad ends meet the clips, because this is where the pad moves. And you know, that spot is probably where, if I've ever had done a brake job and they've made noise, it's because the clips. I needed to replace the clips because they were either frozen. You know, they'll like bake themselves to the caliper bracket, and you know, they got stuff on them. You need to grease them and clean them. I always put new ones in. So anyway, tip number 2: if there's 2 sets of clips, use the small ones. I don't even know why they put big ones in there. A lot of times there's big ones and small ones. The big ones always make your brakes make noise. I swear they put them in there to make the DIYer go to the brake shop and spend $800 to do it, instead of, you know, the $29. Well, actually these pads were $45-ish. So for the $45 I spent to do the front. So I suppose you can get half a brake job done at the brake shop for, you know, $400 or something like that. But anyway, below there is the link that I used to purchase the brake pads and hardware clips. I cannot stress enough how important brake grease is. Be sure to use a fair amount on the backs and tips of the pads, and clean and put new grease on the pins. Don't get grease on the rotor or between the pad and the rotor. It's dangerous. You won't be able to stop your truck. The brake grease that I like to use is in the link below. An issue that I ran into, and really the reason for this whole video, is, and because it took me a little bit to figure out, I went to put the caliper pins back in. The top one started in just fine. The bottom ones, however, kept spinning on both sides. The holes were stripped, so I had to take the brakes back apart. There were these spring-looking things inside the holes, and I found out that you can use helicoils, they're called, to fix the stripped-out hole. But they're only good once, because the pins I was trying to put back into them, they would just spin. So if you want to fix it, you know, or just once, and the next time you do brakes, you'll have to either do it again or get my next solution. You can go to the link below and buy a helicoil kit. But I used oversized caliper pins. Oh, and just a quick note, that's my mom's truck over there, that little purple, I think it's a 99 RT. It's pretty badass. It has a 360 in it. I think it only has 5,000 miles on it or something. So it's basically a show truck, but one of the cooler 97 to 02 Dodge era trucks. You know, it has the same cool front end, cool aluminum wheels. It's a nice truck. So we just wanted to point that out. That's why I said looks like we're a Dodge truck family from that era. So the oversized caliper pins that I used, the model number of them and everything is on that link right there. They're fairly expensive at auto parts stores, like $28. This particular Amazon store has them for $14.10 a piece. And because the link says pack of 2, they only sent me one, which it seemed about right for the $14.10 price. It's half of the one for at the auto parts store. But because it says pack of 2, I sent them a note saying that I only received one, and they sent me a second one at no charge. Just figured I'd tell you that in case you need to. So anyway, the oversized caliper pins didn't work on one side. It just kept spinning because the hole was even bigger than the, I don't know, 10 millimeter or whatever the oversized pin is. So I went to the hardware store and found a bolt that threaded in. It was 7/16 threads or 11 millimeter. Bought it the same length as the pin, grinded off the threads, leaving the same amount of threads on the bottom of the pin as the original caliper pins have. I greased the newly made pin where I had ground down the threads, and it worked like a charm. So that was probably the second most important thing in this video, besides letting you know where the oversized caliper pins can be found. So if you like the content that I put out, please subscribe to my channel. Use the links that I've put out there because I'm a sponsor of those products now. And like I said, if you subscribe and use my links, I'll continue to put information out. I have some other good information coming up on the computer, the ECM of the truck, what to do and what not to do, because I replaced one and it burned out again quickly, and I know why. So please subscribe, and I'll put that out there next. Talk to you later.